Mrs. S. Shobana is working as assistant professor in the Department of English at Sindhi College of Arts and Science, Chennai. She has done a UG in botany with distinction at SRC Trichy. She has done her MA and MPhil in English literature under Alagappa University, Karaikudi. Now, she is doing a PhD in English under the University of Madras at Queen Mary's College, Chennai. She has attended many workshops and conferences and has presented papers in national and international level. She has more than 10 years of teaching experience in UG and PG in the area of English, environmental science, and soft skills. Her research interests are environmental science, public health, and hygiene.
Welcome to UGC lecture series on public awareness, part 5. Let me give you a small recap of what was seen in the earlier sessions. We saw about conserving our natural resources like soil and water. Now, let me give you the points which I am going to deal with in this session. Conservation of energy, proper usage of various forms of energy. Before we start about conservation of energy, let me give you in simple terms as what is energy. Energy is a force or a pressure which is directing an object to move, or it may be told as the capacity to do a work. It may be an organism, whether it is a living one or a non-living one. Everyone has energy in us. We have to use this energy in a proper way for conservation of energy. Energy is of two types mainly, renewable energy and non-renewable energy. What is the difference between these two? Renewable energy is the energy which is got from the natural resources like sun, rain, wind, gases, tides, etc. This energy is eco-friendly and is not of any wastage or spoilage, and it will never cause any health hazards to the human beings. This energy is got continuously and is of various use to mankind. On the other hand, if you take the non-renewable energy, it is the energy which is got from the natural products of the earth. It is not eco-friendly. We have to bear this in mind. Non-renewable energy will cause various health hazards when used in plenty. This could not be saved for future use. You have to use this which is only of limited importance. If you use this lavishly, it will create a lot of environmental hazards and will spoil the ecosystem. So bear in mind to conserve the energy. Proper usage of various forms of energy is the next point which I am going to deal with. We are using the energy forms in a variety of methods and spoiling the entire content, and then we just complain to everyone that there is shortage of energy resource. Where do we get them? Cannot we buy them from the shops? No. That is not available in plenty. The renewable resources are only of limited numbers or amount, as I told you earlier. So, you have to be very careful, as overusage of them will make their content deplete and will also be of serious ill effects to our health. Conserving energy. Coal, petroleum and oil are mineral resources and are non-renewable sources of energy. At the current rate of fossil fuel consumption, the present oil reserves on the earth will last for the next 30 to 50 years. As I told you earlier, these non-renewable resources are like fossil fuels, gases, coal, etc. They are now with us, which are formed by the fossils which are under the earth over 30 to 40 years. They are under the earth and they have turned into renewable resource. Now, as per the records, the non-renewable resource which is now in the earth will last only for 30 or 40 years. What are we going to do after that? Where are we going to go for renewable resource? So, we have to use them very carefully. We are seeing that when we stand in a signal, everyone, nearly 200 motorbikes will be standing there. All of them are not putting down their vehicles. They are just leaving it in the on condition, and so much of petrol is wasted and the air is also polluted because of this. And at this juncture, I want to tell you, people should use the public vehicles for transportation. So much of petroleum products and petrol and diesel is wasted because of each person having a car for his own, and that car moves around the area for a single man's usage. So much of petroleum and diesel is wasted. On the other hand, if you use the public means of transport, too many of them can be dumped into the vehicle and only a limited usage of the diesel or the petrol will be made. So, try to bear in mind, you follow this method of taking a government vehicle to go to some other places. Instead, use a cycle. It will be of great use to the environment. You will not be spoiling the environment by this. We are saying that we should not use the renewable and non-renewable resources lavishly. The non-renewable resources, when used, are going to spoil the environment and is going to be a serious problem to our health concern. So, as far as possible, stop using them unnecessarily. In case of emergency, you can use it. Save it for the future use. Now, let us see the next point. Crores of rupees are being spent to extract, process and distribute coal, petroleum and electricity. Experiments are being carried out to generate energy from wind and photovoltaic cells. At an individual level, every one of us should try to conserve energy. We are getting the non-renewable energy when we pay for it. Only a little amount we are paying to buy them. But think of the government. It is spending crores and crores of rupees every year to extract these elements and products before it is given into our hands. So much of labor is put to extract them, and it is stored and it is transported and it is distributed, and we are very easily buying it, and the next moment we buy it, we are wasting it. For this purpose, the government is spending so much of rupees and so much of labor is being wasted. Use it, but use it in a proper manner. Think and act. This should be your motto. Plan yourself. If you have to go somewhere, look for various works, finish it at a time. Don't spoil the environment with the non-renewable resources. Bear this in mind and act. Now, let me give you a few do's and don'ts which you can follow in your life. As we saw in the soil conservation and the water conservation, we can conserve this form of energy also right from your houses. Everything should start from your house. You instinct in others too that they have to follow your footsteps. Turn off the lights, fans and air conditioning when not necessary. Use tube lights and energy saver bulbs as they consume less electricity. I want to tell you regarding the life of our ancestors. Before 100 years, our ancestors led a very healthy life in this environment. In this same town or area, they lived a peaceful existence. But now, we are living in a place which is totally polluted with land pollution, water pollution, and air pollution. Who is polluting all these things? Is someone from any other planet coming here and polluting? No. We are the root cause for all the ill effects that is caused in the environment. The olden days people, they used only oil lamps or lanterns to light their houses. There was no pollution, there was no overusage of oil or petroleum products, and they led a happy life. We are now enjoying the scientific needs, the scientific equipments. We are using the lights, fans, refrigerators, air conditions and tube lights. But be true to your heart and say whether we are using it in a proper way. Never. We just don't turn out our lights and fans or refrigerators when it is of no use to us. We are enjoying the fullest use of all these scientific equipments and needs, but we are least bothered about the energy which is being wasted by our usage. If you are using it, if the energy is getting deteriorated, it does not matter. But simply when nobody is using those energy form, when it is being wasted, it is a total waste for the energy. Use low voltage lights. Switch off the radio and television when not required. See now, in everybody's house there is a television or a transistor or a radio. The transistor or the radio just keeps functioning from the early morning till midnight. Whether we are seeing it or whether we are hearing it, nobody is bothered. But the television or the radio does its function by telecasting or broadcasting its news or other items. But we are not using them properly. We are not doing our duty in switching them off when we are not looking at them or hearing it. You may think that it does not cost too much of money in paying the electricity bill. But now you have your money to pay the electricity bill when you are overusing it. But after a few years, you will not be having electricity at all if you are going to use your electrical energy in this form. Bear this in mind and act. Use alternative sources of energy like solar power for heating water and by cooking food in a solar cooker. See, as shown in the picture, you can use a solar cooker which is got from the natural source of the sun. The solar cooker works with the power of the solar energy. You can use this. By this way, the non-renewable energy is not going to be wasted and energy could be conserved. You think that it is not a sophisticated method or it is not a decent method or it is not a method which will suit us and we just talk about it and gossip about it. But try to buy it and use it and please put your hand in saving the energy. Turn off the stove immediately after use. Many of us in our kitchens do not follow this instruction. Turn off the stove when it is not used. You simply, when you get a telephone call or when you have some visitors or when you have some other work or when you have to watch a television or listen to a radio program, you are least bothered about your gas stove and the amount of fuel which is going to be wasted. You put this in a simmer and you just look into all the other works which you are having. You are not caring about the loss of the fuel. Bear in mind that this will be of great danger in not conserving the fuel. Cut down on the use of electrical appliances. In summer, shut down windows, curtains and doors early in the morning to keep the house cool. See, as I told you earlier, the electrical appliances should not be kept in the on condition when it is not used. In summers, when the heat of the sun will be severe, early in the morning itself, you close all the doors and windows and put curtains to prevent the direct heat of the sun into your rooms by shutting them down. Now let us meet after the break. Welcome back after the break. Our next point is use a pressure cooker as much as possible to save energy. Plan and keep things ready before you start cooking. See, our olden days people, they used wood as firewood for cooking. So, there was no need for them to use a pressure cooker. The firewood was plenty and they used it. It did not cause any ill effect to the environment. Nowadays, we are using the fossil fuel which is of little source. So, we have to use them very carefully. So, in order to minimize the usage of these fuels, you can use a pressure cooker which works fastly and so much of items could be cooked in a pressure cooker in a short span of time. So, you can save energy if you adopt this method. And before you cook, plan yourself, keep all the things ready and start your cooking. This will enhance the speed of cooking and it will also help you to save your precious time and your precious fuel. We just simply get into our kitchens without planning anything and wander about here and there, and halfway done we leave the work and then go around about the house and restart the cooking and waste the fuel. As I told you earlier, plan ahead, enter into your kitchen, use the fuel in lesser amount and save energy. Keep vessels closed while cooking and always use small, narrow mouthed vessels to conserve energy. Regarding this point, whenever you want to cook some food item, close the vessel and keep so that the heat will be inside the vessel and the fuel will not be wasted and the cooking time also will be reduced. The vessel required for cooking should be judged and the type of vessel for the right cooking should be decided and used. This will help you for faster cooking and it will deplete the wastage of the fuel energy. This will be of great use in conserving energy. Next, when the food is almost cooked, switch off the gas stove and keep the vessel closed. It will get completely cooked with the steam already present inside. This procedure is followed in the pressure cooker. Likewise, when you prepare other food items also, see that the food is cooked properly and switch off the gas stove. In that heat itself, when you cover the vessel with the lid, the remaining cooking will be over. Maintain this type of cooking method in your kitchen. Soak rice, pulses, etc. before cooking to reduce cooking time and save fuel. These are a few tips to enhance easy cooking and save the fuel energy. If you soak the pulses and the rice, it will become soft and it will be of easier cooking method which every one of us can follow in our kitchens. Select a light shade of paint for walls and ceilings as it will reflect more light and reduce electrical consumption. So, from the slide, from the picture you can see, if you select a light shade of paint to your room, to your house, it will be a pleasing sight to your eyes and it will add grandeur to your house. On the other hand, it will not absorb the direct heat of the sunlight and it will not give severe heat inside your room. These light shades will not attract the sunlight and your room will be kept cool. In order to maintain chillness in your rooms and houses, please select light shades of paints. This will reduce the amount of electricity which is going to be used to keep your room cool. You can save energy even by this method. Get your family to eat together. It will save reheating fuel. In olden days, there was no television or radio or any other entertainment programs to visit or watch. Nowadays, we have the media and we have the paper and many such entertainment items. The family members, either in the mornings or in the evenings, when they are at home, they are not together in their dining tables. Each one goes for taking their food at different time. When each one of them goes for eating, the food has to be reheated and recooked. By this, the energy is getting wasted. The lights and fans near the dining room and the stove which is going to use the fuel, everything is a waste. Once everyone gets together, it will be a very enjoyable moment with sharing our thoughts of the day and it will help in saving the energy. Put all your thoughts and put all your work aside and maintain a particular time to have your meals. Get yourself collected and see that all the family members are collected at the dining table at the particular time and help them to conserve energy. So far, I was telling you all the do's which you have to do to conserve energy. Now, let us see the points which we should not do to waste energy. Do not use unnecessary outdoor decorative lights. Now, it has become a fashion to decorate our houses with colorful lights. This will attract the eyes of the outsiders and the onlookers and they will be appreciating us. But is there any use? It is going to deplete the energy level. In those days, they had oil lamp in front of their houses. Now, we are using these decorative items. The energy is wasted by this. Try to avoid this so that you can conserve energy. Do not use a geyser during summer. Instead, heat water naturally with the help of sunlight. You may be wondering as why I am giving you these simple tips. All these simple tips will help us to reduce the wastage of energy. We have to practice ourselves in bathing in cold water. Hot water will only spoil our health, and once if we get used to it, you cannot go back to chill water. So, try to use cold water instead of hot water. In case of emergency, if you have to bathe in hot water, don't use the geysers. You can use natural ways of heating, like fill a bucket of water in the morning and keep it under the direct sunlight. In due course of time, the water will become heated and this will not spoil your health. You can use this hot water for bathing. This will help us save the energy. Do not use halogen lamps as they consume a lot of electricity. Everywhere now we can see the halogen lamps being used. It will consume a lot of energy and it will radiate too much of heat into the environment. By this, you are polluting the environment and also you are consuming a lot of energy and energy is being wasted by this. So, stop using this and try to conserve this form of energy. Do not put food in the refrigerator when they are still hot. This is a very important tip for you, and look at the picture which is shown. The refrigerator is dumped with food items. When you have to take a food from the refrigerator, you have to reheat it and use it. So, every time you dump a food item which is hot inside the refrigerator, it will spoil the refrigerator, and once you take it out, you have to reheat it and use it. So, the nutrient value also will become depleted and the energy also will be wasted. So, try to use the food items directly. Don't keep it in the refrigerator and reheat it and use it. Now, let me summarize all which was seen in this session. Energy conservation, techniques to use are electrical energy. As I said you earlier, energy should be conserved. It is not a thing which we could buy very easily. We are least bothered about conservation of energy as we throw our money and we get the form of energy we need. But this situation is not going to last for many years. The energy level is becoming less day by day, minute by minute. So, plan yourself and try to save energy. You have to tell others also about this. Instead of you alone following all these steps, tell others to follow your footpaths and they too can be motivators to others to follow your footpaths, and a mass number of people could be collected to save energy. Techniques to use are electrical energy. As I told you, unnecessarily when the electrical appliances are in use, kindly switch them off. It will only radiate heat in your surrounding and it will cause serious ill hazards to you only. You will spend the money and you will be spoiling your own health at your own money's cost. And then you have to run towards a doctor, spending your money to get back your healthier life. Instead, as the famous proverb, prevention is better than cure. Save the energy and save the environment and try to lead a healthy life. The questions which I am going to pose in front of you are: what are the various forms of energy? What is the need to conserve energy? How can we save electrical energy? And how can we use solar energy? I want you to confuse your brains and confuse others in thinking about all these questions which are put in front of you. Only when you think and rethink, something could be done. You please analyze all the points which I have told you and try to use the energy in a proper way and save it for our future use. Thank you.